Oh, good morning, beloveds. Okay, as soon as the camera comes on, then my throat closes up. Go figure. So, pardon the clearing of the throat. I I'm an anthropologist by undergraduate degree, and I'm married to a history major. I was just thinking about how little history I know, because tomorrow is Juneteenth, and I went to high school in Georgia, in the middle of nowhere, Georgia. I mean, I grew up in the military, but my dad's final station was Warner Robins, and we lived about 30 miles, I guess, away. I don't know why he didn't want us living in the base town. Uh, so we ended up in this tiny little town in the middle of nowhere in Georgia, and it's and there were a couple of other military families there. My best friend in high school, whose name was also Lisa, was her father was military, and so obviously we became best friends because we had common experiences that a lot of the people in that little bitty town didn't have. And so it's been interesting that the older I get, the more of our history that I'm learning. And it's the blessing and the curse of the internet, because we're sitting here with the learning this history that we didn't know. I didn't, and what cracks me up and hurts my heart is that I learned about Juneteenth from my minister, from Reverend Jesse. I learned about Juneteenth in church, and I'd never heard of it, and I just went. And so, like, I fully support this idea of making it a paid holiday. It's like we celebrate Columbus Day, banks are closed. I think we should do the same thing for Juneteenth. But as we dig into our history and we learn more, like, I'm both appalled at our history and occasionally blown away. So, yeah. I saw another list of books to read. If y'all don't know who Reverend Cynthia James is, she's definitely worth following on Facebook. She was my homiletics 1 teacher, and what we like to say about her is that when we were up on that stage, she thrust her hand into our rib cage, pulled our beating heart out, and showed it to us. Meaning that she taught us to speak with heart and to speak from heart. And every single one of us cried at least once in that class. But she had posted another list of books to help educate ourselves. And so I was thinking about that because tomorrow is Juneteenth. So, yeah. We don't get to clutch our pearls and go, that's not our America. Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And we need to own it and fix it. So that's not what you're here for. You're not here for a history lesson. You're here to learn about Ernest Holmes. So we'll move on. That's just my musings for this morning because I was thinking about it. And like I said, go look up Cynthia James on Facebook and follow her. She's an amazing life coach. She's an amazing speaker. In fact, if you buy one, if you get one of the audibles of the Science of Mind textbook, she read the Science of Mind textbook. She's one of the choices you have. She's got a wonderful speaking voice, and she's dynamic and wonderful and loving, and I just really like her too. So let me give you full-throated support for Reverend Cynthia. So, all right, today I experience complete wholeness. I know that I am some part of the divine being, that the power and the presence of the Spirit is in the word I speak, and that word infinitely and perfectly and permanently makes whole. I know that I represent an individualization of the truth of wholeness, the truth of love, reason and sound mind, the truth of peace and joy, the truth and the freedom of the circulation of the divine in every atom, in every function, in every organ. I empty myself of any and every thought that denies this. I know that, silently but effectively, that the divine power of the individual spirit is working here and now, this moment. I take hold of this realization with complete certainty. I recognize that I am a spirit, I recognize that I am a perfect being, living under perfect conditions, knowing that good alone is real. I also know that good alone is the only thing that has any power either to act or to react. Everything that I do, say, or think today will be done, said, or thought from the spiritual viewpoint of God in everything. My recognition of the power is sufficient to neutralize every false experience, make the crooked straight, and the rough places smooth. Definitely, I know that this recognition establishes the law of harmony in my experience, the law of prosperity, the sense of happiness and health. I experience complete wholeness. And all I can hear today is Emma. I'm taking from Whence We Came on Saturday. And so yesterday I was reading Emma, the Christian Science. What is the name of that book? That may be the name of the book. It's got two parts to the title though. And that's what I'm hearing today, is I'm hearing Emma. Because Ernest was her final student. He would show up, she would talk, he would leave. She was like 80 when he met her, and this tiny little powerhouse of a woman. So that's what I'm hearing today. I'm hearing what he learned from her. Okay, so I know that I am some part of the divine being, that the power and the presence of that spirit is in the word I speak, and that word infinitely and perfectly and permanently makes whole. So, you are divine. You are a part of the divine whole. And because you are a part of that divine whole, that spirit is present in you, and that power is present through you. Which means the words that you speak, that presence is in that, and that power is in that. And they infinitely, perfectly, and permanently make whole. Now, every word you speak? No. But the ones that you open up to that divine knowing, yes. Hardball metaphysics, people. I know that I represent an individualization of the truth. Okay. And I love the way he says that. You represent an individualization of the truth. So you are truth with a capital T. You are truth. Individualized. So you don't have to be the same as everybody else, because you are individualized from that. The multitude in the one. And my fan is about to take flight. So, and that truth, that's the truth of wholeness, the truth of love, reason and sound mind, the truth of peace and joy, the truth and freedom of circulation of the divine in every atom, in every function, and every organ. Okay, so wholeness, love, reason, sound mind, peace, joy, and then you are knowing the truth and the truth and freedom of the circulation of the divine in every atom. Every single atom out there that we are made up of. They've always existed. They will always exist. We are just a temporary arrangement of those atoms. And those atoms are divine. They're made of divine stuff. Okay, so I empty myself of any and every thought that denies this. That sounds like a challenge. You know how we throw things away and then we have to empty the trash? I think that's kind of what it reminds me of. It's like you go back and look in the trash, and then you can pull things out. So I encourage you to empty your trash. Like, take it all the way out. So when you have these negative thoughts pop up, then empty your trash. It's like, yes, you've thrown them away, but until you actually empty the trash out and it's gone, they can still pop up. I know that, silently but effectively, that the divine power of the invisible spirit is working here and now at this moment. So he says silently but effectively, because sometimes we don't always feel it. It's like we want to feel it and we don't always see it, and then all of a sudden it happens. So we just have to know it's working. All right. I take hold of this realization with complete certainty. I mean, that's a statement. It's like, okay, I know that I am a part of the divine being, and that this power is working through me, and that I am the individualization of this truth. So I need to take a hold of this realization with complete certainty. I need to believe it all the way to my bones, all the way down into my bones. I recognize that I am a perfect being. How many times can you say that to yourself and believe it? I am a perfect being. Go to the mirror, look yourself in the eye, in the mirror, and say, I am a perfect being. And do it every day until you can do it without, well, one, until you can believe it, and two, you can do it without crying. So I am a perfect being living under perfect conditions, knowing that good alone is real. That's where he gets into Emma, because Emma says there's good in this world and you ought to have it, and your good is your God. And she just kind of browbeats you with it. She's a powerful little woman. I also know that good alone is the only thing that has any power to either to act or to react. Because in Science of Mind, we don't believe in two powers. What Emma says is that evil is the feeling of absence. It's not absence, because there's no such thing as absence. God can't leave you because you're part of God. So evil is the belief in absence, and what you do from that belief of absence is where evil comes from. Evil is not a power in and of itself. All right. Let's see. Everything that I do, say, or think today will be done, said, or thought from the spiritual viewpoint of God in everything. There's your challenge for today. To everything that you do, say, or think will be done from God's viewpoint. The spiritual viewpoint of God. My recognition of the power is sufficient to neutralize every false experience, make the crooked straight and the rough places smooth. I think that comes from a Bible passage. I'd have to look it up to be sure. But my recognition of the power. My being open and willing to be consciously awake to the power of spirit. The faith. So if I am conscious of this power, and I am conscious of this power flowing through me, as I like to say, I have unkinked the hose, then that power is sufficient to neutralize, like I said, that power is sufficient to empty the trash. It will make all of those, it will neutralize every false experience and make the crooked straight and smooth over those rough places, because we are in a rough place now and we need to recognize that power and get it to smoothen out those rough places so that we can make a world that works for everybody. Definitely, I know that this recognition establishes the law of harmony in my experiences, the law of prosperity, the sense of happiness and health. I experience complete wholeness. So how do you experience complete wholeness? By recognizing the truth of your being. And the truth of your being is that you are a beloved child of God. You are divine, having an experience of itself. All right. So your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to recognize the power, to recognize that you are part of the divine being, and that you are an individualization of the truth. Okay. And Rita's about to get right in that camera. So do something loving for yourself today. Do something kind. Do something compassionate. Whatever that looks like to you. Cuddle a fur baby. Do something nice for somebody. Because when you give of yourself to others, you are giving yourself a gift. Some days there's no greater gift that you can give than to be of service to others. That's the minister in me talking about. So do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. Go look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that you are a perfect being. Do it every day. Write it on your mirror. Do it every day. That's my spiritual practice homework for you. And make sure that you open your windows, get some fresh air, get some movement in. Go for a walk, go for a run, dance. Play your favorite song at 11. Yeah, I've never seen Spinal Tap. Thank you very much. Yes, I have. All right, I'm going to go get my day started. Y'all have a fantastic day. I will see you tomorrow. All right. Love you, beloveds.